Welcome to another edition of Trotsky or Bust. It's the 18th of March. Hope you had a good St. Patrick's. I hope you're really hungover today. Hopefully not. Maybe you made it to work. Uh, what I want to talk about today is what you've all been saying, not what none of you have been saying. Very little. I mean, the media's given it next to no attention. It's the protest in Gaza. Oh, no, no, no. They're not protesting against Israel. They're protesting against Hamas. And that's why you don't see anything of it. The protest, their slogan is, "We want to live." Think about that. We want to live. Imagine if they were saying that to Israel. It would be on the news 24/7. All these fake far left, also TYT, Jimmy Dore, all of them, it would be covering it nonstop. But because it's not Israel, you haven't heard a peep about it. This is the first thing online that I think is going to be about the Gaza protest. They're protesting against Hamas, which is exactly what they should have been doing all along. It's what led to the protests last year that Hamas, when the Hamas basically exist on economic aid. Hamas does nothing. They have no economic policy. When I read something, not only they have no policy, they don't even have a bad economic policy. They're just a terrorist group that does nothing. There was aid coming into Gaza. Of course, a lot of it was never reached the people. Hamas themselves enriched themselves. Probably a lot of money in Swiss banks today. And, you don't hear about it because the fake far left, as they call them, they don't give a shit about Gaza or the Palestinians. They don't give two shits about him. Chris Hedges, where is he now? Is he saying a word? He claims to have lived in Gaza. Same with Eva Bartlett, Vanessa Beeley. Not a fucking word about this. Not a word. The biggest oppressors of the people of Gaza is Hamas. Now that they're turning on them, you don't hear a word. You don't hear a word. But if it was going against Israel, oh yeah, yeah. Nothing anti-Semitic about that. No, they're just playing, and they play on the worst. Not saying, I don't know if Chris Hedges is an anti-Semite, but I know he's playing on it. Same with Cornel West. He's in on this too. He's not saying a word. They only talk when it's against Israel because they know they can feed off people's natural anti-Semitism, I guess. I guess that's the thing. But one thing this has made crystal clear is none of them give us two shits about the Palestinians. And we knew that before when Assad murdered 4,000 Palestinians. They didn't say a word. You know, the story in Gaza, they're saying that Hamas is beating the protesters. Well, that's the information we get. We get the information from Hamas. That's why Hamas says Israel killed 180, then hey, it's 180. If they say they've killed none, they've killed none. They're imprisoning people. You think, how many of those people are going to ever make it out of prison? Yeah. And of course, today, the United Nations came up with a report about the protest, about Israel, blamed Israel for everything, for the protests last year that were going on. Said that they should have treated everybody, including Hamas members, as civilians. Now, what happened exactly there, I don't know at the fence. One thing I know is things are not always as they seem. Now, does Israel and Hamas, even though they're sworn enemies, do they negotiate? Yeah, they do. I mean, Israel always had that posture. We never negotiate with terrorists. Yeah, they do. Yes, they do. Could it have been that on the fence, the fact that they were using snipers, they were trying to kill specific people who Hamas probably asked them to kill? Seriously, I'm totally serious what I'm saying now. They probably cooperated. The reason I think that is because Hamas kind of defended Israel last year. They went out of the way to say that A, that a lot of the people murdered were Hamas members, and B, that these were not non-violent demonstrations. You keep hearing that in the fake far left saying, a non-violent, peaceful demonstration. No, they weren't peaceful. They were trying to breach the fence. They had maps to kill Israelis in the towns adjacent to Gaza. So was Gaza, did the Hamas use this to kill certain people within the organization who they didn't like? It's possible. Very possible. Do I have proof of this? No. Is it possible I'm 100% wrong? Yeah, very possible. But that's just a theory that I want to throw out there that, maybe I mean, the fact that Israel was using snipers, they didn't need to use snipers. They could just fire randomly, but they didn't. They specifically killed people. And of course, the UN blamed it on that excessive force. Who knows what really happened? Um, that's about it. But I just wanted to point it out how you saw nothing today. You'll see nothing. None of these fake far left. None of them. The humanist support. He's not going to talk about this. And Hamas is dog shit. Hamas, they they allow honor killings of women. Honor killings. That means if a woman leaves her husband, her family goes and kills her for something like that. Hamas killed one of their own for being gay, but you won't hear a word. It's like they act like Hamas doesn't exist, that the people of Gaza against the evil Israelis. Well, now you're seeing the people of Gaza go up against their real oppressors, and you won't hear a word about it from any of these people. That's about it. That's all I had to say about that. One last thing regarding Joe Biden. It was so funny. Joe Biden comes out and says, "I'm the greatest progressive in this race." And then, did I mean that? And all the media, of course, acted like that was the gaffe. That is he running? Is he not? Not that what he said is 1,000% bullshit. He's a progressive. The guy who called Romney Care a big fucking deal is a progressive, a corrupt corporate Democrat. And remember, he's from the 60s. 60s is when the corporate Democrats started taking over the party. When they took it over from I told you about that before, the New Deal Democrats. So Joe Biden, I don't care. I hope he becomes the nominee. I hope, people get their head out of their ass and realize that Joe Biden, that's the real Democratic Party, not Bernie, not the Green New Deal. Anyhow, that's it. Tell me what you think. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Please subscribe. Click on Hyman Sickle. There's no charge. And that's about it. And Trotsky is out.